morning and welcome back. If you're new here today, my name is Rachel, and today I am doing all the things. Mondays, we try to take really slow because weekends tend to be very busy for us. My husband is a pastor, so everything leads up to Sunday, and so Mondays we try to just kind of have a slower morning, sleep in a little bit. We just finished our Bible lesson with the kids for the day. They're out doing animal chores. I will meet them out there shortly. I've got breakfast in the oven. I'm making a Big Dutch baby, and if you're not familiar with that, I will show it to you. But basically you mix eggs, milk, and flour and bake it, and it makes this big like puffy pancake thing. We like to eat it with maple syrup, and it's just a good, quick, easy breakfast. So we haven't had that in a while, and I'm making that. I actually really struggle with breakfast, just coming up with breakfast ideas and different things. I don't know, breakfast just is always a struggle for me. So we're going with easy today. One thing I'm going to do today that I'm hoping to help me later on in the week, though, when things get really busy, is meal prep. I always love it when I do this. I thank myself all week long when I'm pulling pre-cooked meals out of the refrigerator and all I have to do is heat them up in the Instant Pot. My goal would be to do freezer meals for weeks at a time, but I just don't have the freezer space right now, and deer season is coming, so I have to make sure we've got enough freezer space. So I'm going to take you along with meal prep for the week and show you what I'm going to cook. I think one day this week I'm going to try a French onion soup. I have quite a few onions from the garden that are kind of questionable. So I'm going to try that, throw a salad and grilled cheese sandwich with that, and I think everyone will really enjoy it. I saw this yummy looking sweet potato hash. I might end up doing it with just our white potatoes, again from the garden, but I'm going to check today to see if our sweet potatoes are ready. So if our sweet potatoes are ready, I'm going to do that later today. That might be what we have for dinner tonight. One of the kids was asking for fish tacos, which I thought was random, so he might have heard his friend telling him about that. So I have some cod in the freezer. I've tried grilling and baking cod. No one really liked it, so that I think that would be a good way just to use it and get it out of the freezer as well. I'm also going to do a pot roast, and what I do with that pot roast is I'm going to use a chuck roast from a cow we purchased off of a farmer, but what I do as well to make the beef go further is I add a venison roast with that also. So the juices and the fat from the beef help flavor the venison, and we just really find it more enjoyable. Venison, if you're not aware, can be really tough and gamey at times. So I find that this is a really great way to stretch everything, and no one knows the difference. So I'm going to be making a pot roast from this cookbook. I'm sure everybody owns it. Back when that was like the big craze. I've never done a Whole30. Never been able to complete one. So anyway, I like their recipes because they're simple, they're clean, they don't have a lot of fluff, they don't have a lot of stuff that I don't already have on hand. If I don't have it on hand, it's easy to substitute. So I pulled this out to see if there was a good easy pot roast recipe. And what drew me this one was a butternut squash. So what I'm going to try this time, though, I'm going to do a delicata squash in there, because these are super sweet and tasty. Mine didn't come out really big, although I might have some bigger ones in my extremely weeded squash patch, but we'll see. That's another thing. Today is a big garden day, so I'm gonna get all this food prepped and then go out to the garden. Everything else can wait. I'm also going to cook ahead some rice because I like rice bowls, and that's a really easy way to kind of finish up things throughout the refrigerator for lunches. And the kids can put whatever they want on it. I can make like a yum yum sauce to go on it, and they could have it more of an Asian style, or if we've got salsa or different meats that need to be used up, they can make it more of a taco style. So I think I'm going to make a couple cups of rice and just have that in the refrigerator. Also, I could add the rice to the sweet potato hash. We could have rice on the side with fish tacos. So I think that will be a good thing to just kind of have done. I'm also going to go through the refrigerator and see what all needs to be eaten as far as produce goes. I know I've got a gallon of chicken stock from last week that needs to be used. Another reason I want to do this pot roast recipe and the French onion soup is because I can use that stock. Even though it calls for beef stock or broth, it's okay. I'm just going to use the chicken. And then the rice can cook in that. So I think this will be a good way to kind of use up what I have, and we'll all have things we enjoy eating for the week. So let's get started. Fried rice is so easy. So I start by frying up a couple of eggs, and then I add my rice to it and mix it in. Then I add either liquid aminos or some teriyaki sauce, depending on what I have on hand. Today I had teriyaki sauce. And then I just start adding in my cooked chicken, which is usually leftovers, and vegetables. Today I'm doing some bell peppers, some leeks. Really, any vegetables work. I've done peas, I've done carrots. It's usually more of whatever's left over. You can add things like kale or spinach to it as well. I also season this with a little bit of salt. Sometimes the aminos or the teriyaki sauce is already salty, so I go easy on that. I also added a teaspoon of garlic powder and maybe a half a teaspoon of dried ginger powder. This is just one of those that use up what I have and taste as I go and adjust accordingly kind of meals for our family. I'm back up at the house. I'm going to check on this roast and get the bread in the oven and start on some pumpkin bars. My wonderful husband took the kids to town, so I am home alone. And what am I doing with my spare time? Cooking and gardening. Sounds about right. Oh, that is hot. See what's going on in this pot. Oh yeah. That looks awesome. Grab some little potatoes that we grew, and I threw those in. I did forget. Oh man, this is like, I'm gonna have to show you. This is like falling apart. I need to go grab, next time I go back out there, I gotta grab carrots and celery. But look at this roast pot. I mean, look at that. It is cooking so well. Which actually the chuck roast can keep cooking. So I'm just gonna let this keep going until dinner tonight, especially since I still need to add in some fresh celery, carrots, and I need to get some thyme while I'm out in the garden, because thyme is delicious in a roast. But these potatoes are awesome. They're falling apart. All right, so I'm gonna throw this back in the oven. That is a Lodge Dutch oven that my sister-in-law bought me for Christmas, birthday one year. Fantastic. Everyone should have a cast iron Dutch oven in their homestead kitchen. There you go. All right, so now I am going to do a second knead on my bread. It is risen, and get that on its second rise. And while that's rising the second time around, I will be working on not dropping this Instapot, I will be working on pumpkin bars for a snack this week. I think for tomorrow that'll be good for homeschool co-op, so let's move that over there. We'll have that as well because I want to use up that pumpkin puree. I don't want it to go bad. Okay, so I'm doing the pumpkin bars. I'm going to do them in my cast iron skillet. I did a layer of crumble with pumpkin puree with pumpkins we grew here on the farm, which is exciting. And then I'm just going to crumble some more on top. I can link this recipe below if you want it. I just found it on Pinterest, so it's not like it's my recipe or anything. I did substitute the butter for coconut oil because I'm out of butter. So there's that. It'll work just fine. I do that all the time when I'm out. No problem. So this is going to bake. That right there is a dirty oven full of food. Roast is going still. Just put the pumpkin bars in and my 2 loaves of bread. I've got 28 minutes on the timer and I'm gonna run to the garden. I was looking at, just ignore it. Just ignore it. I was looking at our list to see what all I think I still need to make tonight. I did the roast, obviously. I did bread. I did rice. I did fried rice, so that's good. I really want to make this sweet potato hash. I also still need to go get celery, carrots, and thyme from over there in the garden. Next, I want to still make French onion soup, but I'm not sure if that's one to be reheated. I've actually never made French onion soup, so I don't really know that much about it. I just love it. It's one of those things I order when I go out to eat. And with the fresh bread, and maybe the bread, that might be something good to have with the bread that's kind of on a, you know, its last leg. So, I don't know. We'll see. In the meantime, though, I'm going to run over to the garden, grab those things, and tidy up. I've got 30 minutes. Here's a funny random thing. I start seeds a lot of times on our front porch, and this looks like a radish coming up in our grass, and then this looks like parsley. That's funny. Or someone dropped a radish seed right here, and now it's just growing up in the yard. Grow food, not grass. Alright, here's some carrots. Let's see what we've got here. They're pretty good size. There's one carrot. I won't go crazy with carrots in the stew. That one didn't really. Yeah, these are on the small side, unfortunately. But if I thin like these three, if I thin this one out, the other will grow bigger. Going to plant some more today. That's on the list of things I want to get done, but haven't yet. Okay, now let's go do celery real quick. The satisfying part of gardening, just coming out here, picking what you need when you need it. Celery you can just keep picking off of. You don't have to harvest the whole thing, and it will keep growing. It'll keep growing around and replacing its stalk. So it just kind of keeps coming back, and it'll survive in the cooler temperatures as well. So I'll have that celery here for a little while longer. Alright, let's go over to the sweet potatoes and see. Carrots will just be for fun in the stew, but celery is a good one to have. Alright, let's see here. I went and checked the spot earlier right here. Look! Oh, can you see it? There's a sweet potato. Oh my word, this is so exciting. There's one. Gotta be more. There's two. These probably aren't quite ready, but it's fall and I want to eat them. I saw where you could start harvesting them after they're flowered, which they have, and there's another flower, but I don't really know. I don't know how this works, so we're learning together. Okay, we got some little ones. I'm just gonna take them. I don't want to kill my plants and not end up with anything. Let's head on back to the house and get all this going. Get back with 3 minutes to spare. It's probably good that I was given a time limit. Let's see. I don't think the bread is quite done, so we're gonna let this go a little longer. Get these guys washed and cleaned up and chopped and thrown into the stew, and then I'm gonna start chopping and shredding my potatoes. I might have to go back and get a couple more regular potatoes. I underestimated how much I had, so we'll see. This has turned more into like a breakfast hash. So I did a pound of meat and onions, cooked that together, added a teaspoon of garlic, salt, and sage with a tablespoon of maple syrup. And then I added in my sweet potatoes, and since I was short, I just used a regular, white potato. So I'm gonna let this cook for a little bit, and I will top it off with a fried egg. And the kids are asking to eat this for dinner tonight, so I think this is what we're gonna have. I feel like I've been doing this all day, and I have, but I don't feel like I did as much as I thought I was gonna do, or my brain thinks I did. I didn't realize it, but I had quite the fall theme going on. The roast, pot roast, the hash has a lot of those fall flavors like sage and the sweet potatoes in it, and then the pumpkin bars, obviously with the pumpkin. So these are also, they make great fall meals if you're looking for something that's warm to eat in this fall season. There's some suggestions for you. I think with the onions, French onion soup, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that together later on in the week. I think it would be a good idea to use maybe the leftover juice or liquids from the roast as the base of the broth for that. And then I could also add any leftover roast, because I think I ended up cooking 4.5 pounds of roast. So we're gonna have it for a few meals. So that might be a good idea, or I could turn it into more of a French dip style meal. So I think I'm just gonna save that for later on in the week and not make that one ahead of time. But I've got the fried rice, which we may use for lunches, we may use for dinner. I've got the roast that is going to go pretty far. I'm gonna get quite a few meals out of that one. Probably, I would say at least 3. And then I've got the hash, which we'll eat tonight, and then I'm still going to probably do fish tacos, easy one, because we always have stuff on hand that we can just, all I have to do is cook up the meat and throw that one together. So that's pretty easy. I'm going to sign off of here for today. I think I might be able to convince Aaron to go back down to the garden. I have some piles of plants and weeds that need to be moved with the tractor. Oh, you got an air filter?
Yes, ma'am.
Got an air filter for the furnace. Yeah, I'm gonna drink this coffee and see if I can get him to go down to the garden.
can do that.
Oh, you can do that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Maybe it gave you a couple fall ideas to cook for dinner this coming week. May the Lord bless and keep you. Until next time.